Investigators collected evidence, but what exactly had happened remained unclear. They would have to wait for the autopsy results. Elliot's parents, Anita and Lee Turner, told detectives they had been home all night and heard nothing unusual. Suspiciously, Elliot publicly mourned Emily on Facebook, posting photos of the two of them together. At that stage, police had no definitive evidence to disprove the claim that Emily had simply died in her sleep. In any death investigation, the most critical factor is determining the cause of death. Only once that is established can investigators understand what they are truly dealing with and how to proceed. While waiting for autopsy results, detectives turned to digital forensics. On Emily's Facebook page, they discovered a chilling post written 2 days before her death, on May 4th. "I have a stalker."
Emily had put a post on that some guy had been calling my parents' house where Emily was living and had been saying things like, I know you're there.
"Someone just called me. I asked, 'Who is this?' And he said, 'You don't know me, but I know everything about you.' I asked how he got my number. He said, 'I'll tell you when I see you,' and kept asking me to meet him. I hung up, but he kept calling." At the same time, police learned that before her death, Emily had argued with Elliot in front of multiple people at a nightclub.
The pictures, though, show a lot of toing and froing. They show Emily Longley arriving at the club, arriving not with Turner, but separately. They're not a happy couple, obviously.
Turner's friends said he controlled everything Emily did. He knew she had spoken to other men. Most importantly, he had threatened to kill her on multiple occasions. But his friends had not taken it seriously. They believed it was just bluster, part of the gangster image he liked to project.
Certainly on the CCTV footage that we saw, he looked very angry.
It was stuff that showed that Emily really wanted to get away from Turner that night. The atmosphere in the bar was poisonous between them.
The autopsy did not establish a precise cause of death, but experts suggested strangulation was likely. One specialist stated, "The physical findings are entirely consistent with pressure being applied to the neck." Investigators suspected that a member of the Turner family might be involved.
They decided that they were going to bug the house and find out what was being said.
They hoped to uncover something, and they did. In the recordings, they heard,
"You were right to destroy them. You were right to destroy them.
Yeah.
Let's be purged in the course of justice. We've destroyed vital evidence in this case. You were right."
Yeah. Yeah, Mum, but focus the conversation because you look so guilty. You look so guilty by ringing the father. No, but Mum, please, from a policeman's point of view, it's so obvious. That girl is, by me meeting that girl has ruined my life. Yeah. She's ruined my life. She did ruin your life. I would have known she was freezing, Mum. You gotta think. Brain. Just thought she was, I don't know, I thought she was just knackered. Just really tired. This has happened before when I can't get her out of bed. Hence, officer, I made a cup of tea first because I thought she was okay. Mum, that's fine. It's so believable.
It's burning me inside. Every second of my day it's burning. But I know something that they don't know. It's burning me. Eating me up.
So I just grabbed it as hard as I could in the way. Grabbed it.
Conversations between Turner's father, Lee, and mother, Anita, about whether they should cover it up and whether they should lie to the police.
Anita Turner is heard telling her husband, well, what should we do? He'll be going to jail otherwise.
Stop denying me now.
I am denying me.
Investigators heard Elliot instructing his mother on what to say to police and how to behave.
Those tapes were really damning evidence.
They picked up just hours and hours and hours of conversation and confession.
Lee Turner, his father, appeared to be the only one who truly understood that what they were doing was wrong, but ultimately, he went along with his wife and son. In the recordings, investigators also heard what had happened the night Emily died. Elliot admitted responsibility for her death.
It was very, very, very damning evidence against all three of them.
On the 19th of July 2011, Elliot Turner was arrested for the murder of Emily Longley and perverting the course of justice.
1 week after Emily's death,
Mr. and Mrs. Turner were arrested for perverting the course of justice.
police arrested Elliot Turner. Of course, he denied everything. His lawyer attempted to challenge the authenticity of the recordings, but the judge ruled they were admissible as evidence. Unaware that police had been listening, Elliot admitted that he was angry every day and that no one had ever made him as furious as Emily had. At his trial in May 2012,
Day one of the trial, I was really nervous. I didn't want Turner to get off.
The boyfriend of a New Zealand teenager found dead in the UK will appear in court in several hours, charged with her murder.
This is your opportunity to sort of speak to a lot of people who can't understand why you did what you did. Do you have anything at all to say?
the defense argued that he had acted in self-defense. Elliot claimed the argument in the bedroom turned violent, and that he had grabbed Emily by the neck but not strangled her. He said he only discovered she was dead the next morning. On the second day of trial, Turner told the court he was disgusted by his actions that night. He said that after realizing Emily was dead, he wrote a letter to his mother saying he was ashamed and planned to leave for Spain. It appeared he may have intended to flee the very day Emily died, but for reasons unknown, he changed his mind. When police arrived after the 999 call, they found luggage packed. Elliot's passport was already inside the bag. He admitted he had previously threatened Emily and that he felt betrayed the night before her death after seeing fabricated emails on her phone. He said he had smashed her face into a table. Describing the altercation, he claimed Emily struck him with her hands and feet. He said he tried to calm her down and then threw her a 20-pound note to call a taxi. At first she ignored me. Then 5 seconds later she just snapped. I had never seen Emily that angry before. I didn't know what to do. She wouldn't stop. I kept saying, "Stop, calm down," and then I grabbed her by the neck with my right hand. Defense attorney Anthony Dunn asked, "Why did you do that?" Turner replied, "To stop her from going crazy. I didn't know what to do." My right hand touched her neck. When asked how hard he squeezed, Turner answered, "I'm not saying it was very hard, but it was fairly hard. I grabbed her and pushed her down onto the bed. I pressed down on her neck while she was lying there." He said he held her like that for about 5 to 6 seconds, then let go and walked out of the room. When asked whether he had intended to kill Emily, Turner replied, "No." He claimed he believed Emily had fallen asleep. According to his testimony, he only realized she was dead the following morning when she did not wake up. At trial, Elliot Turner was portrayed as a spoiled rich kid whose parents always tried to shield him from consequences. The court heard that he had free use of the family home in the affluent Queen's Park area of Bournemouth, where he hosted what his own father described as wild parties for his middle-class friends. He had his own private living space in a converted garage, allowing him to come and go without disturbing his parents. It was in that room, complete with its own minibar, that he strangled Emily on the bed.
In the early hours of the 1st of June, it's quite apparent that Elliot Turner has been conducting some research on a computer.
Okay, mate, in terms of browsing on a computer, typed in death by strangulation, death by suffocation, manslaughter to trial, how to get off innocent, and I also typed in fucking Google, how to get away with serious crimes.
Why would you research those terms on a computer? A person researching the information clearly has got something to worry about. Whilst it isn't a clear admission of guilt, it is significant contributory evidence to Elliot Turner's state of mind.
You could hear firsthand from Elliot and from his parents about the criminal activity that they'd been involved in, which had resulted in the death of Emily.
The primary motive for the crime was jealousy. The court also heard testimony from Luke Ashford, who had spent a night with Emily. As previously mentioned, Turner had discovered this. Even while in custody, Turner boasted that the jury would believe his twisted version of events, that Emily had attacked him and he had merely acted in self-defense. In letters sent from jail to friends, he wrote that sooner or later he would be driving a new Range Rover, moving to Spain, selling the rights to his story, and living a life of luxury. The jury quickly shattered that fantasy. On May 22, 2012, Elliot Turner was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 16 years. During sentencing, Justice Dost described Turner as astonishingly arrogant. She said, "Emily was a lovely, kind, joyful young woman. who brought sunshine into the lives of those she touched. That light was extinguished by you suddenly and senselessly. You did not love her. She was a trophy to you. This relationship, if it can even be called that, revolved entirely around you. It was about control you exercised through aggression and threats. Forget champagne, Bentleys, and women. Focus instead on why you are serving a life sentence. In addition, Turner received an extra 9 months in prison to run concurrently for perverting the course of justice. But Elliot Turner was not the only one to stand trial. His parents, Anita and Lee, who had funded his extravagant lifestyle and loved their son so blindly that they concealed his crime, also faced justice. Lee burned Turner's confession letter. Anita removed a coat from the bedroom where the letter had reportedly been. She even delayed calling an ambulance to give her son time to erase evidence and to allow the family to construct a story for police. When asked why she had not called emergency services immediately, Anita said she did not believe Emily was dead. During cross-examination, she was asked whether she believed Emily had ruined her son's life. After 6 seconds of silence, she replied, "No." In one of the recordings, Lee asked Anita, "Did we do the right thing?" Anita replied, "We did." Both Anita, aged 51, and Lee, aged 54, were convicted of perverting the course of justice and sentenced to 27 months in prison. Judge Linda Dew stated, "You chose to fight this case and showed very little remorse. Mr. Turner, you claim you did not know what was in the letter when you burned it, but the anguish in your voice on the recording clearly demonstrates the burden on your conscience." The recordings were released publicly in 2013. After serving half of their sentences, Anita and Lee were released and returned to live in the same house where Emily had died. Emily's father, Mark, broke down in tears when speaking about the verdict, standing beside his ex-wife Caroline and their daughter Hannah. "What we have heard over the past 5 weeks has shocked and disgusted us. That a cruel individual like Turner treated a kind, loving girl like Emily in such a brutal way is beyond belief. We were so proud that she traveled halfway around the world to build a better life, a life that Turner chose to end." He said many people had heard Turner boast and make threats, but no one had taken him seriously until it was too late. Even his own mother didn't take it seriously when he texted that he was going to break Emily's neck. Perhaps if someone had taken that threat seriously, Emily would still be here today. I hope he suffers every day in prison for what he has done. In October 2020, reports emerged that Turner had been assaulted by fellow inmates after hanging a photo of Emily in his cell and boasting about receiving fan mail from female admirers. Several inmates attacked him after he claimed he would soon return to a life filled with champagne, Bentleys, and women. In 5 more years, Turner will be eligible to apply for parole. One can only hope that justice will prevail and that the parole board will make the right decision regarding a man who has shown no true remorse for his crime.
A beautiful daughter, Emily, who was on the cusp of adulthood when Turner murdered her. He all still loved her very much.